Good morning, good evening, good night, Eagle MMA fans. In no particular order, Manel Kape. We already knew Manel Kape was an absolute gigachad when he exposed Alex Perez's ethnic background, but ever since he called the entire Australian crowd and the entirety of CKB a bunch of he's been on a different level, absolutely punking Adesanya at the press conference, bringing up him jerking off to cartoons and his cartoon porn addiction. Don't tell me that's not one of the most based fighters, if not people, in the history of the UFC. Next up, the most recent one, Bryce Mitchell. Again, we already knew how based Bryce Mitchell was, but ever since he stepped into the octagon, as he was getting introduced by Bruce Buffer, holding up his holy Bible, screaming out, "Freedom," like a true American patriot, and then during his post-fight interview, denouncing the Maui fucking fires being fucking natural and said they were man-made. So based, and that's so based, and that's not bringing up literally anything else he's ever said ever. That's just his post-fight press conference, right? His post-fight interview. Talking about the Antarctic ice walls.
Gee whiz! Gee willikers, Batman! Is that drip?
Talking about his ex-girlfriend is like a witch who's like poisoning his food and breaking everything down. Next up is Sean Strickland, absolute giga chad, right? The new middleweight champion, destroying that dog-loving piece of human garbage Chinese fucking salesperson, Israel Adesanya. So base of Sean Strickland. And the fact that he only beat him using a 1-2 and a lead teep kick is insane. Also, he pretends to be gay, pretends to be the first gay UFC champion. It's a joke. It's completely a joke. You can't take anything of what he says seriously. It's all clearly a fucking joke. Once again, denouncing Israel Adesanya's cartoon porn addiction. Saying he's more Australian than Israel Adesanya, calling him the Chinaman, exposing his dog-loving interests. You can't tell me he's at least top 3 most base fighters of all time. Next up, I think might personally be the most based fighter of all time, Colby Covington. Obviously Colby Covington, right? Obama phone with Jorge Masvidal, calling Jorge Masvidal a bum, Street Judas, okay? That's so based, such a based biblical reference from the Christian American patriot Colby Covington. Not only that, but he's had a fucking interview with the GOAT Candace Owens, right? And obviously we all know he's Donald Trump's favorite fighter. Next up, this one might actually throw you for a little bit of a curveball, but he just won the last week's main event, Mateusz Gamrot. And you might say, oh, Mateusz Gamrot's not nearly as based as, whoever the fuck, but he's a Polish native. He's native to Poland, and we all know what the Polish leader thinks about, other people coming in. Not only that, but Mateusz Gamrot is a based America enjoyer, likes rap music, video games, and his favorite place to travel is the great United States of America. If that's not based as fuck, I don't know what is. Lastly on this list, I think we have maybe the most obvious answer of all time, Dricus du Plessis, the real African king. He might be African, but he's no brother of Israel Adesanya, based as hell. I think out of any fighter of all time, I think he might be the quirked up white boy from the hood, bust down sexual style, goated with the sauce, exposing these African fighters for their real heritage and who they really are, and being the real first African champion of all time. I love Sean Strickland, but Dricus du Plessis is going to destroy him like he destroyed that soy boy Robert Whittaker. If that wasn't enough, his fight style is literally the drunken fist. He gets off on pure athleticism and just like straight up fight IQ. Has no skill, so no technical skill, but he's just a fighter. He has power. He doesn't even have good fucking cardio. He just has power and he's athletic, and he's gotten himself a title shot in the UFC. That's so fucking chad. And quickly, just to run through some honorable mentions. First up with honorable mentions, in no particular order, Henry Cejudo, calling himself a real American. He's not Mexican. His heritage is Hispanic, but he calls himself a true American patriot. His mother, his father, him, his wife, his kids are American. They're not Mexican. Based. Next up, Beneil Dariush. He has some questionable thoughts about his homeland is all I'll have to say for that. Obviously, Drew Dober did not make it on this list because he's not that based. He's not that based. He tries to denounce all the base comments from his hood-ass enjoyers. Not on the list, unfortunately, but he will obviously be an honorable mention for being a big dog, big bear, a lion, in fact. Obviously, Brennan Allen for saying he whoops on his own kids, based as hell. And Jamal Hill for just being a hood-ass black dude who don't give a fuck. He became a champion with a bubble gut. He became a champion with a bubble gut and like zero training. He's just hood enough to do that well in the UFC. So thank you guys for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know down below. Thank you for watching. Eagle MMA out.
Hey, Young Lean? Are you Young Lean?
What?
Are you Young Lean?
No, I'm Barry Dillon.